credit, both just as a neighbor turning other people onto it, as a guy taking people down, to standing on a retail floor and talking about the wines. Jim, I've never talked about the wines without emphasizing the food.
Yeah.
It's not a wine and cheese pairing. It's not, this and this. It's not cab and your ribeye. I still believe, and you heard me say this a little bit earlier, I alluded to this, the chefs, and I don't need to name them all because I don't want to leave anybody out. There's so many great chefs who have come to San Diego, come to Los Angeles, all the way, and I will name drop, Rick Bayless in Chicago, who's been doing this for years. They're saying these chefs they're on to something. And I don't care if you're going to Think, Deck, and then Corazon. I mean, you and I know, we go on and on. That's probably one of the greatest experiences for folks that are willing to go down there, is whatever wine you like. Wine is probably one of the most subjective things in the world. I always compare it to music. What you love, what I love, but the food we all love.
Yeah.
And I think, whether it's fresh seafood out of Ensenada Bay, whether it's something they go over the open grill. I remember the first time recently. Now, this is a wine guy, not as a kid or going down camping. I went to, Javier Plasentia's finca one evening, and all I ordered, it was a packed house. I'm standing there. I wanted a wine I'd never had before, so I got a beautiful red blend. And I said, I'll take an El Pastor, and I'll take a carne asada, taco. I'm a native San Diego, my friend, born and raised. And I walked away telling everybody on my Facebook account, this is the greatest taco I've ever had. I mean, it's such a lovely experience. And to answer your question, the food is, that's worth it alone. It's not just, hey, folks, let's go to wine. You go to Napa, yes, there's some lovely restaurants.
Yeah.
But you're pretty much going for vino. Valle, you go for the experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
The food, the wine, the magnificent people, the ambiance. Do it before, perhaps, I know everybody wishes it gets so big. It's an absolutely wonderful time to go.
Yeah, and I think that's the unfortunate thing about a success of a region, that eventually it does get busy, and I think we're already seeing some busy weekends during harvest. And I know that it tapers off quite a bit over the winter time. But, Baja is such a special place, and you talk about the food and the wine and the ambiance. The views are pretty incredible, too. There's views up at Cuatro y Cuatros looking out over the ocean, or half the wineries looking out across the entire Valle there, just from one side to the next. I mean, the views are just to die for.
Yeah, you can start at Santo Tomas, which, by the way, has phenomenal olive oils. You go to the other end, and there's, the lake and the more contemporary of Monte Janique, and you go out to the newer places like Bruma, and you can go to Las Nubes up on the hill and overlook those valleys, sipping whatever you like. No, you're absolutely right. The, El Cielo, everybody. It's just, I don't think there's a winery that you can hit there, like Chuza, any of them that you don't go, wow, isn't this a great experience?
Yeah.
And you're not sitting in front of 30 people sipping at the moment, which is kind of fun. You have a chance to perhaps, if your timing's right, you can meet the winemaker.
Yeah.
You can meet the owners. You meet their family. These are my daughters. These are my sons. Here's what we're doing. That's such a lovely experience to still have.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. I would say 9 out of 10 times that I've been over to Las Nubes, I've ran into Victor, who's the owner over there, one of the owner partners, every time I'm there. And it's like, wow, does this guy ever take a day off? But he's so passionate about what he's doing and the winery. And his wines are phenomenal. And not to mention his food pairings that they do up there. They're mainly just appetizers, but they're just unbelievable. Like you said, you could go to almost any winery and have a completely enjoyable experience beyond any other you would have.
I agree. One of the funnest things about being a gentleman in the wine industry for a long time is what I love doing, and it doesn't matter where you are. And I'll just take, and I don't mean to go back, but just because if you're at, Santo Tomas, for example, you can say, okay, here, have a sip of this wine. You take a sip. Oh, thank you. Okay, here's a bite of the chocolates that we make right here on site.
Yeah.
Try that. Oh, well, thank you. And then they go, now taste it. Okay, I'll take 3 bottles.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if people get to appreciate, maybe up here we do a little bit more wine charcuterie, wine and cheese, but down there they're willing to give you these incredible, paellas and foods. And yeah, and anyone who really enjoys wine, which majority of us do, when you have it with the right pairing and the right food, it escalates. It just escalates your palate. It escalates your love, and you get a nice understanding, just on a very simplistic, level of like, God, that is really good.
Yeah. Hey,
and I think that's what they are.
When we went down there together, we went over to Bruma and we just checked the place out. Have you been back since?
I have not, but just seeing the restaurant there, Fauna, which you and I got the opportunity to do, and being a semi-wannabe photographer, and that beautiful oak tree growing out in front of the wine cellar, seeing the communal tables there. I got to tell you the truth. I'm upset I haven't gone back.
Yeah, well, maybe
I want to try it. I've heard people who have been.
Maybe that's our reunion tour, buddy. Maybe that's where we need to go on the next trip.
Hey, works for me, amigo. Say the word.
So Michael, again, we could probably talk about food for much longer too, but for our listeners, people that we really want to encourage to go down to Baja and experience all things Baja, and we've talked about the rest of the peninsula. We actually haven't spent enough time talking about the Valle with our other guests. How do we describe and explain what a great experience this would be for them if they just got in their car and drove south a couple hours? How do we convey that message? Because I think you have to be there in person to really understand it, but how do we tell them you got to go?
Oh boy, you do. I think whether in a retail store, talking to people who may have been once, or talking to neighbors, or to me, people, hey, you know wine, and people have thought about it. I guess my thing now, again, I'm just dealing from living in North County, San Diego. I'm like, folks, Santa Barbara's 3 hours away. Nothing wrong. Love Santa Barbara. Valle is 90 minutes. It's toll road the whole way. It's safe. It's fun. It's beautiful. You see the Coronado Islands, etc. You get towards Ensenada Bay. The signing, by the way, Jim, even since you and I last went, has even gotten better.
Yeah.
The whole Ruta del Vino, there you go. They are, they're such welcome arms, and you're not paying $75 a tasting. Nothing derogatory. I was just in Napa last week.
Yeah.
And in Valle, it's, come in. We want to see you. We want you to enjoy it. Anything you want to taste, or what can I tell you? And again, I think they're still young enough, Jim, that it's such a lovely experience, because it's so much about family, the farmers, where we came from. This is what we do. You don't get that a lot in too many other winery regions I've been to. And I think my biggest thing that folks want to go is do it. There's enough people now, Jim, who will take you on a tour, or will take you just for a day.
Yeah.
There's folks that meet you in San Isidro. They'll take you down. You're back home. Get to see maybe 3 of the wineries if you wish. You can have, a couple bites to eat in Ensenada or in the Valle. You just need to get a taste of it. And I guarantee that any of your listeners, Jim, that they're going to come back and go, honey, or our friends or whoever, we got to go back.
Yeah.
What a great experience.
Yeah. They'll be hooked.
And it's not pricey. It's not that. It's just taking the time to go, it's okay. Let's go. What a great experience.
Yeah. And, I don't like to dwell on price too much, but you're absolutely right. It's a phenomenal deal.
But people think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's a phenomenal deal to go down there. I mean, you feel like you've gotten more than your money's worth and your time's worth in experience and quality of the wine, and really the attention. Some of the hosts at the wine counters know so much about wine and history and passion for what they're doing. It absolutely blows me away that they are so ingrained in their culture and what they're doing there. I just love it.
I absolutely agree, and they want to talk to you about it. They will answer any questions. It's something else, and you and I, because we're into wine and stuff, I want to tell anybody who's listening, you can ask whatever you want, and you will never feel silly. You won't feel, well, I don't know that much. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
They are so happy you're there. They're so willing to share with you. That you taste anything that they have, and you have to just say, what do you think? What do you think? And that's a rarity. And that's why I say, God, enjoy them while you can right now. As you just said, they're going to grow. But right now, it's an experience that's so well worth having. It's like I get to say, you know what? Gosh, I was down there when it was happening. You know what? That's still the case today if you want to go down.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Michael, I know that recently you retired. You had a great career in grocery and with Whole Foods. I'm sure, knowing your spirit, that you're not done working all together. I have noticed on your Facebook that you're enjoying life quite a bit, but
wine business has been very, very good to me.
I look forward to seeing what hobby you pick up next. If nothing, I hope to spend more time with you down in the Valle for sure.
It'd be my pleasure. I've waited to go down with you again. Yeah, it's nothing like, and I've had a lot of friends that want me to guide and take them down, which is lovely when you do, but it's, what's neat, Jim, about the wine? I just want to say this because, like I said, I've been doing this a while, and people, one of the coolest things that customers ask, and this is honestly from my heart, how do you know so much about wine? And I said, you know what? I don't. That's not humility. I don't, because you know why? If you're passionate about it and you enjoy it, you will learn every single day.
Yeah.
You will go to a new place. You'll go to a new winery. I'll try a new taco truck. You'll try a new, whatever. And it just expands your knowledge, your heart, your understanding. And that's why I love sharing it with people. It's a passion.
Yeah. Michael, when I think about you and what you've done, your name is just synonymous with one of the early adapters of Baja Wines and the category and what they're doing. I hope that when the history books are written, your name's in there for being an early adapter and believing in the Valle and the wine down there.
Well, you're beyond kind, amigo.
Well, hey, look, man.
I do love it, and it's not going to end. It's. I think for any of your listeners, anybody that go now, go, and not today, tomorrow, but you have time, and it's be a part of something that most of us, no matter what age you are, you didn't really get to go experience Napa unless you went there 40 years ago.
Yeah.
Or Santa Barbara 30 years ago. You know what? I mean, dear folks, friends, you go down there now, you get to experience something kind of on the cusp. I'm telling you, it's so well worth it.
Yeah. Well, you've convinced me, and I'm down there a lot. I'm ready to get in the car and go right now.
Oh, are we leaving in the morning?
Yeah, I'll be picking you up. You know what? I'm actually excited for the winter to roll around because I like less crowds. Yeah. I like the quietness. I like the cool breeze that comes through. And I've really enjoyed my time in the Valle in the wintertime. So I feel like I'm coming into my season because I know where I can find a hot fireplace and a good glass of wine or some hospitality at down there, and I'll just be a happy camper.
I love your attitude. Well, you figure you got harvest. It's been a little warm, so everyone from Napa down to Valle de Guadalupe are picking the grapes a little bit later this year just because of the heat. And you're absolutely right. There's nothing like going down in October, November, because the welcoming is just the same. The weather's perfect, like you just said. The views, Ensenada Bay, it's just, and I guarantee you, the seafood's just as good, the ceviche is just as good, The tacos are just as good, and the wine is excellent.
Yeah, I think the only thing that really changes is the hours of operation. But if you know where to go, where to look them up, sure. And by the way, they all have great websites that talks about their hours of operation. You can find direction on Waze or Google Maps or even just the internet. So there's tons of resources to figure out who's open and when, and you can enjoy that Valle year round, which I'm sure we will be doing plenty of.
Sounds phenomenal to me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, listen, man, I know it's late. I really appreciate you getting on the show and sharing your wisdom about Baja. I look forward to spending some time down there with you. And I'm going to keep looking at your Facebook to see what new things you discover and you post up. And by the way, Michael, I've texted you a few times here and there asking you questions.